Yo, what's up, guys? So I recently made a resource with a bunch of data regarding hyper offense, and I'll leave a paste in the description so you guys can look at that. But yeah, just wanted to do this video so you guys can have better visuals of what I outlined in the paste. And yeah, so this is my first time doing this type of video. I don't really do guides on my channel, so I'll do my best. And yeah, so let's get into it. So hyper offense, definitely one of my favorite play styles. Simply because it has so much variation, as you can see, so many different type of hazards you can use, so many creative mods that you can just throw in there or build around, that normally wouldn't have a place on other styles such as balance. So you can get really creative with hyper offense, which is why I like it a lot. And yeah, so let's get into it. First one, we have hazard leads. So very important, especially on hyper offense. You definitely want your hazards, being able to punish switches, because hyper offense mostly you're going to be either doubling or setting up, so you definitely want that extra chip to guarantee those 2 kills, OCO. So hazards are very important on hyper offense. So you have these 4. We have lead landers, definitely the best one by far. Tried and true, sash, intimidate, pivot, ground immunity is just great, man. Landers, explosion, super strong, coming off base, 145 attack. So yeah, nothing really enjoys switching into lead landers, especially if it has swords dance. Like, this thing has very little counterplay. People do run swords dance. I prefer rock tomb though, just to get that OCO and mo trace without having to kill myself. I don't think it's an OCO, but it definitely does a ton, to a point where it won't be able to check something like a Cartana or whatever you have. But yeah, you can run swords dance, you can run rock tomb. Really doesn't make a difference. Swords dance is nice to be able to break things like a Pylon in 1 hit or in 2 with earthquake. Yeah, pretty much landers. Like, it's self-explanatory. Definitely the best mod to have on hyper offense. Super splashable and it's good. So yeah, there's him. Mew. I enjoy Mew quite a bit because it comes with spikes and other fun moves like Mystic Explosion, which just completely destroys Urshifu, which I've done quite a couple times. They think they're safe going for bulk up, come in, explode on them. It's better to run Mystic Explosion over regular explosion because it actually hits dragon types and ghost for a better chip. It's better to get a bit of damage than nothing. So yeah, spikes Mew. Taunt to prevent any weird teleporting stuff or opposing stuff. Rock. That's another great thing about Mew. Solid versus opposing lead landers. You prevent them picking up Stealth Rock, prevent Heat Ram from getting up Stealth Rock. Just the best move to have there. And you usually run this Mew alongside things that appreciate spikes, right? So things like Dragapult. Magina really appreciates Pharaoh and Heatran taking spikes, Excadrill taking spikes, opposing Melmetal taking spikes. And Spectre like spikes. Excuse me. Yeah, spikes are just solid with pretty much anything offensive, especially something I like to set up, such as Magina. Yeah, spikes are just nice. Applies a lot of pressure alongside Stuff Rock. Just forces a lot of chip on things. Then your red card, to take away any momentum from your opponent. If they try to U-turn or volt switch, you force them into something else and potentially get up a free spike and a Stuff Rock. So that's great. And yeah, that's Mew basically. So moving on to Excadrill. Honestly, don't think Drill is that great anymore, because Lander's just better. Only thing Drill comes with is spin, which is not too important for hyper offense, honestly. You'll be able to apply so much pressure that they won't be able to get up hazards easily. But yeah, it's usable, so I just included it. We got spin, toxic for Zapdos and Moltres. Yeah, it checks Magana, which is nice. because hyper offense is typically weak to that, especially the shift gear set. But yeah, this drill, not much to go into. You can run Rock Tomb. Steel Beam is pretty bad nowadays because Corviknight's not too common. And you should have things to punish that anyway. So yeah, this drill, not much to go into. We got Mammoth Swine, which is not really used again because like Landers is better, Mew is better. So again, it's usable, so I'm gonna go over it anyway. We have the classic Oblivious Endeavor. Oblivious is good because you can be intimidated, so Landers can't just try and pivot in because they'll be taking in a ton from my shard still because you're not at -1. Endeavor, obviously once the sash is broken, you basically cripple something, put it at 1 HP, and then kill it with something else. Like say a Ferrothorn, a Garball, you get up Stuff Rock, you Endeavor, then you pretty much cannot check anything else on your team. Yeah, this Mammoth Swine. Endeavor is like the only good thing about it, really. I guess Ice Shard priority is somewhat okay, but Mammoth Swine is not that good nowadays. It's okay, but yeah, this Mammoth Swine. Then we have other things like Frost Slash, which is not very good because Mew just does the whole spike stack thing better. Scolipede is better off running the Swords Dance, so that's why I didn't include them, because they have better sets to use or they're just not good. So yeah, this Hazard leads basically went over everything I wanted to there. So next we have Sticky Web. Now Sticky Web, I definitely think is not as strong as just Spike Stack or Light Screen Reflect, because the popularity of heavy duty boots on things like Cinderace or Dragapult, and generally Sticky Web is very matchup oriented. Like versus Balance, Sticky Web is not going to do much because it's obviously Balance has slower mons on it for the most part, and it's easy to just defog away webs with Zapdos, Moltres, Tapu Fini. Whereas with Landers and Mew, you could just explode on those and just completely block the defog. So yeah, Sticky Web is kind of a sitting duck in that sense, but it's still solid. I guess I haven't used it much in this meta, but it's usable. So we have Shuckle as the first one, definitely the best one because it comes with Stuff Rock, so you can kind of compress rolls. You don't have to run Stuff Rock on something else. Encore to punish setup, because Shuckle is just setup fodder because it has no offensive pressure whatsoever. So need Encore is mandatory. And Final Gambit, I prefer that over Infestation, just so you can knock yourself out and not have to hard switch, which is also an important thing to note about hyper offense. You don't want to be hard switching around. So moves such as Explosion and Final Gambit have a lot of value on these styles, on this style. So yeah, Infestation is cool, but I don't really I'd rather just Final Gambit and throw away Shuckle and get a free switch into something. Mental Herb is nice for taunt Tapu Fini, taunt Heatran, just taunt in general, because again, Shuckle is just taunt or setup fodder, so you definitely want to have that there, so you at least get a 1 hazard guaranteed. And yeah, so definitely the best Sticky Web setter because of all these moves and utility. Has trouble versus Melmetal. I think Assault Vest still kills it even if bold. Ban definitely kills it, and Urshifu Rapid I think guaranteed kills. I'd have to do a calc, but yeah. Shuckle is Shuckle, and we have Araquanid, more of a flex pick for it's nice because it resists fire basically because of Water Bubble. Cinderace switches into Heatran well, can be a check to drill actually if it's not Rock Slide, but they mostly carry Rock Slide nowadays for the birds. Yeah, so somewhat of a check to Urshifu Rapid as well, which is cool. So yeah, that's positive matchup versus that. Pretty standard set, magic code for opposing hazard setters, opposing Sticky Web, whatever. Toxic for slow bro, Buzzwole, all those things. So yeah, there's that. Spark Grenade. Definitely usable. I like it. Um, Again, haven't tried it myself, but definitely real soon. It seems cool. We have a Bombi. Definitely think it sucks. I just wouldn't use a Bombi. Like, it's fast, which is the main reason to use it. But yeah, I don't like it too much. Does well versus dragon types and their Shifu, but Hyper Offense can't handle a Shifu because everything is faster for the most part. And yeah, so we have U-turn there. Because nothing else to put. You can put Quiver Dance, but this thing is not sweeping any teams. So yeah, Stun Spore just to cripple fire types, because those are the main switching to this, or just being able to Stun Spore Moltres. Again, just don't think Bombi's good. Loses to Defog Moltres hard and Zapdos. So yeah, I don't really like it for that reason. But yeah. We have a Bombi, Araquanid, Shuckle. Are there any other ones? No, I'm pretty sure there's not. But I went over this. Yeah. Aventula, man, definitely better than a Bombi though. That's pretty much it. Slurpuff is not good. So yeah, guys, if you see like another thing that's blank there, or that just means I didn't list it, like I said, because it's not good, or there's just better options. So yeah, those are 3 stick web setters. Now we're moving on to Reflect and Light Screen. I personally think dual screens is dope. I'd say better than stick web because it's less matchup reliant. As Reflect and Light Screen are good versus all teams, whereas stick web, can just be not that good in certain matchups. So Reflect and Light Screen. Yeah, so first one we have is Regieleki. Definitely think this is the best screen setter in the tier. Mostly again because of explosion, super good. Being able to set up screens, then blow yourself up. It's just nice. Getting that free switch into one of your breakers. Yeah, I stole the spread from a friend. The speed is for Rain Kingdra, and I think that's it, Rain Kingdra. And better defense for, I think, taking a max attack Earthquake from a Landers after Reflect. And then Spit Def, he said, I think was for Specs Latios. So you tank that guaranteed. And spin. You can run an electric move if you want, but most of the time it's gonna switch into the ground type, so it's kind of a waste. Spin is just nice utility for T spikes, because that's one of the things I forgot to mention. Hyper Offense is usually very weak to T spikes, because you're trying to set up and you're taking that extra residuals, which is not good. So you definitely want to be able to spin T spikes away. So yeah, I definitely think Regieleki has the best utility overall for a screens mon. And yeah, it's just great. Super fast. Being able to outspeed certain things under range, such as Seismitoad, is great. And yeah, there's Regieleki. This thing definitely impressed me when I used it. I wouldn't use any other set though. Definitely just this. So yeah, there's him. We have Ninetales. Again, definitely one of the best screen setters, because it can set them both up at once in one turn, which is very valuable. Encore for setup, and defog, all that stuff. Freeze dry just for water type, just have a solid stab. Inhale, in case you face Tyranitar or Podon or Pelipper and you want to change the weather. So yeah, Ninetales is there. Tapu Koko, definitely think this is a waste of a Tapu Koko, honestly, and Regieleki is just better at doing this. Explosion is far better than U-turn. Again, I'm gonna keep reiterating that. You don't want to be hard switching. So like, it's literally the same thing. Regieleki is just better. It's faster, has explosion, rapid spin. I don't think Specs Koko is just a far better set, and it's the only set in my opinion. I don't like Screens Coco, but yeah, anyway. For the sake of the video, I put it here because people do use this. Reflect on light screen. Taunts, just to prevent posing hazards, teleports, all that good stuff. And not much to go into. Go on electric move if you want again. But yeah, there's that. Grimmsnarl is okay, but the thing is, it's slower than all of these. First off, and it can't set up screens all at once like Ninetales, and it can't kill itself. So again, that's another downside to this. But yeah, we have max attack, so Spirit Break hits as hard as possible. Enough speed for Mana Buzz, Taunt. It's a Ghost Resist, which is cool for Spectre, which is very important. So that's something, I guess. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Grimmsnarl. Klefki, I think, sucks because it just gets shit on by Mandibuzz pretty hard. You actually cannot touch it, so it just defaults on you for free. But yeah, you can run spikes on this or steel beams so you can kill yourself. And pretty much Klefki. I'm not a fan of it though. And again, Latios, same thing as Coco. Just don't waste your Latios setting up screens. But Latios is a good mon in general. So I just wanted to put it here as a potential option. But I definitely wouldn't use this over Ninetales or Regieleki. Just far better options. But it does have Memento, so you get free setup because they're -2 in both stats, so that's cool. But yeah, definitely use Specs, Latios, or Life Orb, or whatever other set. Don't use this. And yeah, there's a reflecting light screen. Basically, all the good ones, all the ones you should use if you decide to use this. Reflecting light screen. Usually, you just want to use this alongside multiple setup sweepers. That's the idea. Make it hard for your opponent to kill them because screens are up. Make pheromones a lot bulkier. And we'll get into that later, but yeah, there's a reflecting light screen. So sweepers, now this is huge. We have a bunch. Blaziken, I have to set Blink because there's a lot of variation. I'm not gonna try to go through this as quickly as possible because there's a lot, and I don't want you guys to sit through this video. So yeah, we have Blaziken. There's a lot of variation. Again, Thunder Punch, Thunder Punch. You can run Earthquake or Pex. Honestly, nowadays I like Knockoff a lot for Slowbro and Lotties, because not being able to kill Lotties at +2 is just sad. So Knock Blaziken is actually pretty solid. Definitely recommend it. But yeah, Protect is an option as well. Manly set is just SD3 attacks. Yeah, Blaziken has so much variation that just love to set Blink because you can mostly do whatever you want with it. Cinderace, I run this set. I don't run Powerball, but obviously you can for Magearna. But if you have things to handle it, you could just run no Powerball like a Savage, High Jump Kick, Gunk Shot, Zen Pitch, pretty much everything you want outside Landers. But Landers, you're not staying in on that anyway if it's defensive. But yeah, just have something paired with Cinderace to beat that down, and you're good. You go on Life Orb as well. I've seen that a couple times. I think it Oko Sox picks up +1 with the Zen Headbutt, so that's something to keep in mind. Dragon Dash Dragapult is the only set to run on Hyper Offense. Doesn't really make much sense to run Specs because it's a sweeper, so you want to be able to sweep the opposing team. And yeah, Dragon Dash Dragapult. But yeah, like Specs is good, but Hyper Offense definitely want this one. Clear Body for Landers so that you can't get intimidated, you can't get dropped by Sticky Web, all that nice stuff. And Fire Blast. Go and substitute with Leftovers if you want. Yeah, Dragapult is there. Spin blocks, so that's nice. This has a lot of utility for Hyper Offense, and Hyper Offense itself is very weak to Dragapult. So yeah, gotta keep that in mind. Dragon Dance, Dragonite, very solid. Roost, all this stuff. Definitely think this is the best set. You can run Ice Punch as well. It's really good for Landers. Earthquake is mandatory, I think, for all the steals, like Magearna, Heatran, Melmetal, all that. I've used Jolly so that I can outspeed Tapu Koko, Spectre, but honestly, just run Animants. Like, it's not like Tapu Koko can kill you anyway. Spectre can only Wisp, and you just Dragon Dance it again, kill it. So yeah, just run Animants really. You can have things to handle Tapu Koko and Spectre, um, and the power definitely comes up a lot. Like versus Clef, to a kill with doing beat up +1, whereas with Jolly you don't. So yeah, very huge difference. Yeah, Dragon Dance is actually very solid. Been pretty impressed with it. SD Chomp, Stone Edge for Zapdos Moltres, Skull Shots. Not a big fan of this set, but yeah, it's used. So yeah, you run Fire Fang for Ferrothorn if your team is weak to that. Yeah, SD Chomp is a pretty good breaker. It can also sweep, but the thing is, if you use a Scale Shot, you're a lot more vulnerable to priorities such as Sucker Punch or Banded. Grassy Glide from Rillaboom just kills you. So yeah, there's a huge downside to Scale Shot, but yeah, it's good. We have Double Dance Landorus, which is something you don't see too much nowadays. I put Jolly in here because I don't want to be outsped by a Scarf or Hermosa, but you know, if you're feeling rare, you can run Adamant. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's Landorus, and we have Magearna, again left to blank because there's so many variations. Magearna is definitely the best mon to use on Hyper Offense. Super bulky, best typing in the game. Can run Calm Mind, Stored Power, Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, Shift Gear, 3 attacks. Like, there's so much variation with Magearna that it's just endless possibilities. Leftovers, Weakness Policy. I like Weakness Policy on Hyper Offense, but Leftovers is good too. Just for that longevity. Iron Defense is pretty crazy set as well. If they don't have a Heat Churn, they're probably going to get swept, or Ferrothorn. They are going to get swept. Iron Defense, Draining Kiss, Stored Power, just destroys Blissey. And yeah, Magearna just has so many sets, so you can do whatever you want. You could even run Specs on Hyper Offense, but setup is definitely better because it takes advantage of screens. So that's Magearna, man. Magearna does what it does. River Dance for Hermosa. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. I already went over this in a previous video, so not gonna talk about it too much. But special can easily just smack any team. If they give you a free chance to quiver, it's over. If they don't have a solid check. Spectre with Nasty Plot. Specs is also usable on Hyper Offense, tripping over my words. It's just a solid breaker. Soft check to Hermosa. And yeah, last slot could be anything you want. Wisp, Mud Shot for Heatran, but it's kind of meh. Shadow Ball still does a ton to that. You're going to Calm Mind instead, so you can set up on Clefable so that it doesn't break the sub. And Graze there. Halucha, the mascot, my guy. I put the best moves in order, so Taunt's definitely the best move to have, just for Toxapex, Haze. What else? There's a lot of things. Hippowdon, guaranteed beat Hippowdon. They cannot touch you. Landorus T, like ground types are toxic, just get messed up by Taunt, Halucha. Yeah, this Taunt is just the best move to have in the last slot. Should your team want that over Roost? Roost I mainly have for checking on Shifu, or just, you know, if your team has no other thing to deal with that. Because Halucha's typing is good versus that. And Drain Punch, just there. So you can do things like set up on Ferrothorn, they Leech Seed, they Gyro Ball you, Drain Punch all the health back, and they can't Revenge Kill you. So yeah, a bunch of options there. Stone Edge even for Zapdos as well, and Moltres. So yeah, Halucha, and we have enough Spit Def so that we can live both Clefable and Tapu Fini Moonblast guaranteed, provided Stealth Rock are not up, which they most likely won't be versus Hyper Offense, and enough speed for base 100 such as Victini and Rest in Attack. So yeah, there's Halucha. So as I say, Aegis, which I think is very underrated. Smacks most balanced if they don't have a Hippo. Yeah, that's the 80 slash. I swept plenty of teams with this. Close combat for the steals. Definitely want max speed on this set for Heatran. Um, and yeah, just gets a lot of setup opportunities. Best counter you can have to Pheromosa, if it's not Throat Chop or Drill Run. Um, so yeah, it's a good factor offense. Being able to deal with that. Man, Zeta Slash, Belly Drum Azu, which is pretty underrated as well. Have to deal with Rillaboom, which sucks, but yeah. The Rillaboom still sees a better use, even with the popularity of Zapdos small trades. So yeah, Belly Azu is great. Bisharp, I think, kind of sucks because just Urshifu just doesn't care about it. Yeah. Like, you need Sticky Web of Bisharp, I think, always. Otherwise, you're just going to be checked by Urshifu and other stuff. Like, even a non-Life Orb Iron Head is not doing much on the Switch. So, I always run Sticky Web of Bisharp, pretty much. Because +2 Life Orb Iron Head will kill Urshifu. Then you can actually sweep Celesteela, Meteor Beam, mainly a Zapdos, Moltres Lore. Especially with Celesteela with Autotomize. It's a cool set you can build around. Galarian Moltres, Weakness Policy is this set I think most people run. Then Timid, again, I have this for Scarf Hermosa. But if you don't care about that, you can just run Modest. And yeah, pretty sure this can break through Blissey if it's not toxic. After you get the Berserk and all that good stuff, or if you get a couple flinches. So that's something to think about. Scizor, haven't used it ever since the birds. You're gonna have to really build in a way where Scizor can sweep through Zapdos Moltres, because the best it can do is knock off, but it's still solid versus opposing hyper offense, because Bullet Punch solid versus McGearn. Rillaboom, it's a nice check to that. Scizor is just nice versus opposing just offense in general. Scizor, SD Life Orb, you can run that. One hyper offense or choice band if you want. Thunder's T, we have Dual Dance. Weather Ball is ran on weather, but can't really fit Pelipper and hyper offense. So yeah, just have 2 coverage moves, and then it's pretty much it for Thunderous. More of a niche pick. Has to again really be built around to be successful, but that applies to any mods. So yeah, the Volcarona is the last one. You'd run just 3 attacks. Bug Buzz Psychic. Bug Buzz mainly to hit Latios, T-Tar. You can run Bulky Roost as well, that works. Bulky checks for Hermosa, Melmetal, so it has its place. So it all depends again. Is that it for this? So yeah, sweepers again are things that can usually just either again just sweep through an entire team after a boost, or just can click attacks and beat your opponent that way, or has priority. So things like Sucker Punch, Cinderace, Aegislash, Azu, Bisharp, Sucker Punch. Anything that has priority or is really fast is basically considered a sweeper, or has access to boosting moves plus priority. That's pretty much what constitutes a sweeper. That's pretty much it for that. So these are all these main sweepers I put here. There are a couple more, but these are the best ones by far. So that's why I listed all of them. Now moving on to breakers, and balance install breakers. We have a bunch of those as well. Titanosaurus Dance. This is cool. It does a lot to Zapdos, like 78% min with +2 knock. So you just get a bit of chip on that, you kill that. Does well versus Unaware Clef and Quasire, so it can break stall. So Titano's very solid. Don't need Smart Strike, like it only hits Clef. Buzzwole is gonna wall you regardless. but you could put it if you want. But it's just not much space. Like, you need knockoff, just excellent coverage, and save yourself a Ferrothorn. Like, it's just too many important moves to drop for that. Yeah, basically, Breaker is something that won't sweep a team, but it has very little counterplay, which is the common thing with most of these mons here. And they can at least kill 2 or 3 mons in exchange for, opening up something else on the team. And it's very difficult to switch into these types. They won't sweep most of the time. They can, but it depends on the team style you're facing. Like, they can just, completely destroy balance by themselves. They don't need the speed. Balance and stall breakers are mostly on the slower side, for the most part. But yeah, they usually have very little counterplay and can usually get at least 2 kills versus balance, because it's so difficult to switch into, as opposed to a sweeper, which is meant to just beat your opponent, basically, with speed, as opposed to power. Though a lot of sweepers do have power, but you guys kind of get the point. Now Metal, Choice Band, Max Speed for Morgana, Pelipper. I really like this set. This set is pretty funny. I've outsped Swampers with this. Flinched him with Iron Bash, then killed him again. Good on the next turn. You do an Ice Punch for Zapdos, and yeah. Nidoking has been picking up in use. Flamethrower, not much use for T-Spikes. Yeah, so I've seen much people use Modest, but I think getting outsped by Heatran is pretty bad. So we got Timid over here. Ice Beam, again, I've seen people run no Ice Beam, but getting walled by Landers sucks. Obviously you could Flamethrower it down, but if it's left over, it's just, you're in a bad situation. So just have the Ice Beam for Landers. His Mandible is harder as well, and it's just a good mid ground to go for. Yeah, you go on Substitute. I think it's a waste because everything breaks Nidoking Substitute, so it's kind of like but yeah, Nidoking is good versus pretty much any core, such as Pex, Magarinas, Heatrans, all that stuff. Has trouble versus Blissey, but you can run Superpower if you want, or Taunt, or whatever. We'll just have teammates to deal with that. So definitely want either some type of Volt Turn support or stick with Nidoking if you're building around it on Hyper Offense. But yeah, Nidoking is good. SD Rillaboom is a known thing already, so I'm not going to go too much into it. High horsepower is an option for Magarina, though Superpower still does a ton to that. So yeah, it's also solid versus rain, which is what I'll get into later. Torrent-T, Nasty Plot. I prefer Air Slash just for the accuracy. I don't want to have to run 2 inaccurate moves. So yeah, there's not much else to run. You can run Sludge Wave for Tapu Koko and Tapu Fini as well as the 3rd slot. Again, Hyper Offense, you're not gonna have space for Weather Ball because you're not gonna have weather. So yeah, Sludge Wave is cool. Icy Wind for grounds. There's a lot of options there. So yeah, just play around with that. Nasty Plot Torrent-T is pretty good. Urshifu's again known already. Bulk Up, Light for a Band, all that stuff. Pretty sure this is a monster on webs. So yeah, something to consider. Ban Zapdos is the only Zapdos. Yeah, I wouldn't use any other set. Holucha is just better at setting up. Please do not use Bulk Up Zapdos. Just use Holucha. It's far superior. And yeah, Ban is the only set. Tour kills things like Clefable, Slowbro, so it's a really good breaker. But yeah, and it punishes Defog, which is big. So but yeah, otherwise don't use this. Only use Ban. I would not waste my time with setup. But yeah, next we have Bucephalon. Oh, it also checks the Urshifu as well, just like Holucha, but a bit better because it has more bulk. But yeah, Bucephalon, Calm Mind, substitute the set from Sun Moon, being able to set up on Blissey for free. And yeah, I think Quagsire takes too much from Shadow Ball. I might be a bit wrong on that, but yeah, let me know. But yeah, Bucephalon is mostly a breaker, but it can sweep if you get a speed boost as its EV to get that after Beast Boost. So yeah, Stefan is nice. Haven't used it yet, but it seems good on paper. Crawdon to ban, Life Orb SD. Priority is good. Yeah, there's Crawdon. Hydreigon, Naziplot, Dark Horse, Earth Power. Don't need Draco, doesn't hit anything at all. Urshifu already dies to +2 Earth Power or Flamethrower. So yeah, you can Roost, Flamethrower if you have trouble with Ferrothorn. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Hydreigon. Gotta keep in mind Tapu Fini walls this, so we definitely want to have things to either overwhelm it or just deal with it outright, such as Rillaboom or Tapu Bulu, which I've used it on one team, and it definitely it's definitely good. Like Spadef, I think is the best set. I wouldn't really use Band. I just use Rillaboom instead. But yeah, Spadef, Bulk Up, completely dominates Rain. Like a Specs Hurricane from Kingdra is not Okoing, then you just only get the health back, protect. Yeah, it's just good. Definitely the best thing to have versus Rain, which is, one of the things you have to keep in mind. Hyper Offense, Close Combat for Ferrothorn and Melmetal. Run Stone Edge if you want for Moltres and Zapdos, but it's not going to do much if it's not a +1. And Hurricane to a kill, so it might not be worth it. But yes, but that Bulu is like a fun pick. Tapu Lele, Specs, Twisted Spoon, breaks stall, breaks balance, breaks any defensive team has very little switch-ins outside Corviknight because they don't run Thunderbolt. They need Focus Blast for Ferrothorn and Heatran. Yeah, Tapu Lele is good. Can provide terrain for your Holucha. It's very difficult to switch into for most defensive teams. Victini, Choice Band, Boots, Glaciate for the grounds, checks Magearna, which is big, and Tapu Lele. So, that's some nice utility. Yeah, it's solid. Diggersby, SD, Silk Scarf because you have 2 normal moves, so you don't want to run Life Orb. It's basically the same thing, except you don't take unnecessary damage. You need Mega Kick for Landers T. Also 1 KO Slowbro and Buzzwole to Stealth Rock, so you definitely need that. Again, like very little counterplay. Diggersby one of those mons you just cannot switch into. You'd have to check it offensively. And it's a Ghost immunity for Spectrier, Electric immunity for Tapu Koko. So the typing is nice. So yeah, there's Diggersby, Kyurem, Specs. Thing is, Draco again is not useful, so I don't know what you'd run over that on Specs. But you can run Life Orb Roost as well if you don't want to do that, and just have that longevity. Yeah, outside Blissey doesn't have much things to deal with it, and Dragonance is kind of gimmicky. I'm not a fan of that, but yeah, Kyurem's good. Obstagoon, Facade, Knock. Best part about Obstagoon is that it's full counter to Spectre. You cannot touch it. And yeah, so low kick for steals, better than close combat because it does the same amount of damage to Heatran, T-Tar, and Melmetal. And it doesn't lower defense. Only thing is Ferrothorn, which the damage difference is insignificant. So yeah, Obstagoon. It's very difficult to switch into, extremely difficult. Buzzwole can even get to a kill without the Stealth Rock. So yeah, and this thing Oko's Clef at +1. So just to give you an idea, Togekiss not used much, but yeah, especially with Zapdos meta, it's okay versus Stall. Stall should be using Zapdos though, so yeah, it can be used. So Rude, it's actually pretty solid. I found. Just being able to again Spectrier with the jungle healing, being able to check that. Darkest Lariat does well versus Stall because it doesn't care about Quagsire and Corviknight. Iron Defense just goes through that if they're that set. And yeah, there's pretty much all the balance and stall breakers. Again, the important ones are the ones that have a place in OU. Um, so yeah, that's all of those. Now we get on to hyper offense weaknesses. We have weather. Don't want to be facing weather with hyper offense, but honestly, like I've faced rain a couple times with it, and I find it pretty easy to beat as long as you play well, and just have solid enough water resist. Like Rillaboom, for the most part, is good versus rain. Sand's a bit different. Gonna have to keep things like Landers healthy instead of just throwing it away and things like that. The thing is, like, weather basically allows them to outspeed anything that you would have. Like, there's no Scarfer that outspeeds Drill outside like Pheromosa, or like Team of Dragapult, so there's that. And you won't be using Scarf Dragapult on Hyper Offense, so yeah. Weather has always been the bane of Hyper Offense, but you can get around it. Dragapult with Infiltrator does not care about screens, so you can set up screens all you want. Still taking a Spec Draco or a Spec Shadow Ball, so you have to be very careful with Dragapult. Definitely one of the best mods you can use versus Hyper Offense. And Unaware from Quagsire, Unaware Clefable, though with Zygarde no longer in the tier, Unaware Clef's not used that much anymore, so don't have to worry about that. But Quag is annoying. Though if you have like a physical breaker that can kill Quag like a Rillaboom, you're set. But yeah, other than that, don't want to be facing that with Hyper Offense. So because it can just sit there and wall everything and know your boost. But we move on to how to circumvent the aforementioned matchups. So Rillaboom and Tapu are like one and the same. Like versus Rain, you can definitely destroy them with them. Because Pelipper just dies to +2 Grassy Glide, Life Orb after a slight chip, and then Ferrothorn has to deal with Superpower, and everything else just dies to +2 Glide or just regular Glide. Ban can do well, but it's a bit more prediction reliant versus Ferrothorn. And if you don't have Superpower, it's going to be difficult. But if you can get rid of Ferrothorn and just bring in Rillaboom, just got clicking grass moves, it should be solid. Again, Spadef, Bulu does well versus Barraskewda. Non-poison move, Seismitoad. I've seen Poison Jab a couple times. Just don't throw it into Barraskewda. Liquidation under Rain if you don't have to. Keep it healthy. You should be good. Not much can deal with it. If they don't have Hurricane on Pelipper, which won't even kill, Tapu Bulu can do well versus Rain. Slash, like mostly versus Rain, you mostly want like a bulky grass type or priority, boosted priority. So Slash can do well versus Rain. If you like beat down Kingdra a bit, they can die to +2 spell tag boosted Shadow Sneak. You have close combat for Ferrothorn, and Barraskewda is just gonna die to +2 Shadow Sneak, so you don't have to worry about that. And Pelipper, you need I think this Rock Sub and it dies to +2 Claw. That thing messed up. Whoops. Hold up. Alright, fixed it. Alright, so Crawdaunt, Cinderace is kind of a problem for Hyper Offense. Not many switch-ins. You can't just have a defensive Landorus. So you want to have things that resist Sucker Punch or can punish it. So here I have Crawdaunt, which is Okos with either Band or Life Orb Jet. Can't switch in though, obviously, but you can just kill it. Azumarill is very solid versus Rain. If you're able to get off a free Belly Drum versus a Choice Lock Barraskewda, they lock into close combat, or Pelipper, because they'd either have to Scald Burn you, or Hurricane won't do much, I don't think. Not enough to put you in range of like Iron Bars from Ferrothorn. So yeah, Azu can definitely just sweep through Rain. Chomp, Helmet Chomp is nice versus Cinderace, punishes it with Helmet. The U-turn, it's taking like nearly 30%. Toxic for walls such as Slowbro, Hippowdon, Landorus, Mandibucks, all that. Last lock can be Flamethrower if you need a Stone Edge, whatever you want. Just Dragon Tail is definitely recommended though. You can even run offensive helmet chunk, which I've done, just to punish Cinderace. Don't even need to be defensive. Then we have Gearna. This was for Unaware, because stored power ignores it. So you can boost as much as you want and just store power, kill the Quagsire. Training Kiss, get your health back versus Blissey. Store power just goes to Unaware, so you're getting a solid versus those type of stalls with that. And Cortana does not care about Quagsire and Clefable if you're packing Smart Strike. So these two are how you get to Unaware. And the rest outside Crawdaunt and Chomp are very solid versus Rain. Just keep your water resist healthy, and just know what you need to sack versus Rain, and just play accordingly. Rain is a winnable matchup. Then we have some example teams. This one's a pretty old one. This used to be Kyurem Black, but just replaced it because it was the same set. So we have Life Orb, regular Kyurem, Roost, Ice Beam, Freeze Dry, Earth Power, alongside spikes to apply pressure to mons such as Magearna and Melmetal with the Assault Vest, Ferrothorn, things like that. Just apply pressure to steals with the spikes and be able to use Ice Beam, and eventually knock them out with Earth Power. So that's pretty much the idea behind this team. As I mentioned before, it's having Spikes Mew to provide that extra chip versus the defensive stuff. It's got Scarf Urshifu in here, to help with Spectrier. You can put Poison Jab on here if you want. I'll put these in the description as well. Aegislash as my Pheromosa check, and Sweeper. Garchomp as my Cinderace, pseudo Cinderace check with Helmet, because if they hit you with a high jump kick plus another contact move, which they're forced to, you're taking 50% in range of +2 Shadow Sneak from Aegislash. Then Spreadef Bulu, that's Stone Edge on this one. You put Close Combats, just had that for Moltres, and it's my rain check. So it's pretty much how I combine all the things I talked about before. Rain check on top of Bulu, Cinderace, just helps punish a lot of things. Fire Fang for Ferrothorn and Corviknight, because this team will struggle versus that a bit. And yeah, that's pretty much how I built that. You're using offensive mons in somewhat of a defensive way to still have switch-ins for certain mons like Pheromosa, like I have Aegislash there. And then this team, it screens. Again, this used to be a regular Zygarde. Thing that sucks about Zygarde 10 is it's super frail, so you need to run a lot of speed for things that regular Zygarde didn't have to, because it was so bulky. It lived any hit, even super effective ones like Dracos. But you have to run speed, so you can outspeed, say, a Kingdra under Rain, Seismitoad, and Latios. So, man, it kind of has downsides, but Thousand is still a broken move, so yeah. I just replaced the Zygarde with the other form. And then Magearna, just the best mon, again, to have on Hyper Offense. Shift Gear, stored power, no speed for Pheromosa at +2, or Sphere for the steals. Lead Lando, you got Spectrier as a soft check to Pheromosa, and then Beliazo as a water resist and Urshifu check. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know I stumbled a bit over my words, but yeah, it was kind of a long video and I had a lot to get off. So yeah, that's that. Again, I have all these stuff in the description for you guys to look at, and I hope this was informative for anybody that's having trouble building Hyper Offense. So yeah, there's that, and hope you guys enjoyed.